This paradox engine thing you sent over is really got me thinking. It's like it kind of messes with everything we think we know about how the world works.
Yeah, it really flips the script, doesn't it? It almost feels like it kind of like it needs contradictions to really work.
Okay, so let's break this down a bit. What exactly is a paradox? I mean, yeah, I know it's when something contradicts itself, but how does that apply to like an engine?
Well, think about this. This statement is false. Now, it's true, then it's got to be false, right? But if it's false, then it has to be true. It's a bit of a head scratcher.
Ah, so it's not about a physical machine we're talking about here.
Exactly. It's not something you can build. The paradox engine, it's more like a principle, a way of looking at and messing with reality.
Okay, and the stuff you sent me, it mentioned temporal desynchronization, which sounds a lot like time travel, right?
Yeah, I can see why you'd think that, but it's not actually time travel. Think of it more like blurring your presence in time, making it fuzzy whether you were ever somewhere or maybe you were always there, slipping through the cracks of reality.
So you're not like actually changing the past.
Not the way we usually think about it. It's more like creating a reality where the past has always included the result you want.
Whoa, okay. And there's this law of impossible outcomes, right? The example was someone's in a situation where winning is like logically impossible, but the paradox engine makes a reality where they already won, and the events leading up to it just make it work.
Hold on, are you saying you can just like wish yourself to win?
Not really wishing, no. It's more like realizing that what we see as impossible might just be our limited view. The engine helps you see things differently, to find the possibility in what seems impossible.
So it's not about changing what happened, it's changing the why it happened. Exactly. It's like the paradox engine's this master storyteller. It weaves a tale where the impossible outcome, it was always going to happen. And the key is how well you understand paradox. The engine isn't something you turn on. It's fueled by your ability to hold these opposite ideas in your head and see the truth in both of them.
So to use this thing, you got to be good at mental gymnastics, huh?
Haha, you could say that. Like training your brain to work on a whole other level.
The material mentions quantum duality. It got pretty deep into physics, talking about existing in two opposite states at once.
Right? Like imagine a coin spinning in the air. Before it lands, it's both heads and tails at the same time. The paradox engine, it lets you apply that same idea to yourself.
So you could like be in two places at once.
Not physically, no. But imagine making your actions so unclear, so hard to pin down, that no one can say for sure where you were or what you were doing at any time.
This is already kind of blowing my mind. But it's incredible. What's the limit here? Is there anything stopping someone from going too far with this?
That's the thing about the paradox engine. It's super powerful. Like anything powerful, it can be dangerous in the wrong hands. The material even warns about using it too much. You can get so detached from normal reality that you lose your grip on the world.
So it's a high risk, high reward kind of thing.
Precisely. And there's another danger, doubt. The engine, it seems like it needs you to be absolutely sure about the paradoxes you're creating. Any hesitation, and it just won't work.
So you have to believe in the impossible to make it possible. Wow. Okay, but if this engine isn't a physical thing, what does it even look like? Does it even have a shape?
That's where things get even wilder. The way the engine looks, it seems totally dependent on the person looking at it, their own understanding of paradox.
So it looks different to everyone.
Exactly. A scientist might see a complex equation. An artist might see a sculpture that's always changing. And someone who doesn't get paradox at all, they might not see anything.
So it's like a mirror showing you your own understanding of paradox. That's pretty amazing. Okay, this engine sounds wild. What can you actually do with it?
That's what we'll dig into next. We'll talk about some truly remarkable applications, like the conceptual escape, unraveling opponents, and even forcing reality to catch up.
All right, you've got my attention. Let's do this.
So let's start with this conceptual escape. Imagine you're trapped, right? Seems like there's no way out. But instead of breaking out, you use the paradox engine to kind of will yourself to have never been trapped in the first place.
So it's not like teleporting or something.
And not really, no. It's more about rewriting your own timeline. Making it like the whole event of being trapped, it just never happened.
So you're not erasing the past, but making a new present where that past didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a backward escape, bending reality to fit this new version of events.
Okay, I think I'm kind of getting it. What about this unraveling opponents? Sounds a bit mischievous.
It can be, yeah, depending on how you use it. The idea is you use the paradox engine to kind of play on someone's, like, their need for things to make sense, to be logical. Say you're in a negotiation, and the other person is totally stuck in their position.
Oh, I know those types. Stubborn as an ox.
Right, so you suddenly, slip in these paradoxical statements, and it can kind of nudge their thinking, open them up to new ideas they hadn't even considered. Like you're using paradox to loosen up their worldview.
So you're not forcing them, you're just making it so they might change their own mind.
Exactly. It's a subtle thing, but powerful when you get good at it. And then there's this forcing reality to catch up. That might be the most mind-blowing application of the engine.
Okay, that one definitely has my attention. Tell me more.
It's all about the idea that what you believe, it shapes reality. If you can truly believe that something's already happened, the universe, it might just rearrange itself to match that belief.
Wait, hold on. So if I believe I can fly, I'll just suddenly grow wings? That can't be right.
Haha, it's not about breaking the laws of physics. It's more about understanding that our beliefs can really change how we see reality. Like, think about the placebo effect. People get real benefits just because they believe they're getting some powerful treatment.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard of people recovering from illnesses just because they believed in a sugar pill. But how does that connect to the paradox engine?
The engine, it takes that idea to a whole new level. It lets you align your view of reality so strongly with what you want that the universe itself starts to reflect that belief. It's not blind faith, it's a deep, unwavering belief in the possibility of the impossible.
This isn't just about controlling the universe. It's about the power of belief in doing things that seem impossible. If you can truly believe something's going to happen, it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's a great point. The paradox engine, it's not just a tool, it's like a mirror. It shows us how powerful our own minds are. What we believe can really change what we experience.
This whole conversation, it's making me question everything. It's like reality's way more flexible than we think.
And that's what's so cool about these ideas, right? They make us think outside the box, rethink what we thought we knew. But it's important to remember the paradox engine, it's not a toy.
Right. It's super powerful. And with great power comes great responsibility or something like that.
Exactly. The material really stresses being careful and respectful when you're dealing with the paradox engine. It's like a force of nature. And like any force of nature, it can be really destructive if you're not careful.
Okay, I need a minute to process all this. Anyone else feeling like their brain just got scrambled?
Haha. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. But that's what makes these deep dives so fascinating, right? It makes us expand our thinking, try out new ways of looking at things.
So, what does it all mean? What's the main takeaway here?
I think the biggest thing is the paradox engine shows us that reality isn't set in stone. It's fluid, changeable, always evolving. And in that evolution, there's always room for the impossible.
Wow, that's a lot to think about. It's almost like the paradox engine isn't about bending the rules. It's about realizing there might not even be any rules, at least not the way we usually think of them.
That's a great point. It makes you wonder about the very nature of reality. What if the laws are just limitations we put on ourselves?
Whoa, that's deep. It's like the paradox engine isn't a tool. It's like a philosophy. It's saying, hey, the universe is way weirder and cooler than you think.
And that's exactly why you got to approach it with maturity and responsibility, You got to be willing to let go of what you think, and embrace the unknown, see the potential in the paradox.
So it's not something you just give to anyone, right? It takes a special kind of person to use that power responsibly.
Absolutely. It's not about control. It's about understanding, seeing the paradox in everything, and using that to navigate reality. This has been one of the most thought-provoking deep dives yet, I gotta say.
I feel like I need a nap after this one. It's a lot to take in, but in a good way. My brain's been stretched to the max.
I get it. It's a lot to absorb. But that's what's so great about exploring these unusual ideas. It pushes us, makes us rethink everything.
So to wrap things up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with? The most important thing about the paradox engine?
I think the most important thing is the paradox engine, it reminds us that reality isn't fixed. It's fluid, it's changeable, and it's always evolving. And within that, there's always room for what seems impossible.
That's a great way to put it. This has been a truly mind-blowing deep dive. I think we both learned a lot today.
I agree. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
And to our listeners, we hope this sparked your curiosity, got you thinking about what's possible. Remember, the paradox engine, it's more than just an idea. It shows us the potential we all have inside us.
So as you go about your day, think about this. If you could rewrite cause and effect, what impossible dream would you make happen? What obstacle would you overcome? The answers might surprise you.
That's a powerful thought to leave you with. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep. It's like the engine's not so much about bending reality, but more about showing us what we're capable of.
Yeah, that's a good way to see it. It works on the idea that what we believe, what we think is possible, it can really change our reality.
It makes you wonder, what else we could do if we just changed how we see things.
Exactly. It challenges us to rethink our limits, to question those boundaries we put on ourselves, on the universe. What if the impossible is just stuff we haven't tried yet? Potential waiting to be unlocked.
That's an amazing thought. So, thinking about everything we've talked about, what's the one thing you'd want our listener to take away from this whole deep dive into the paradox engine?
I think the key takeaway is this. The paradox engine, it's like a metaphor, For all the possibilities out there, when we dare to question what we think we know and embrace the paradoxes in reality, it shows us the universe is way more amazing and flexible than we think.
That's a great way to put it. This has been, well, a mind blowing deep dive. And I think I could say for both of us, we've both learned a ton.
Totally agree. It's been great exploring all this with you.
And to our listener, we hope this whole deep dive has, well, made you curious, inspired you to challenge how you see what's possible. Remember, the paradox engine, it's more than just an idea. It shows the potential we all have within us.
So as you go about your day, ask yourself, if you could rewrite cause and effect, what impossible dream would you make real? What obstacle would you just overcome? The answers might surprise you.
That's a really powerful thought. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep into the universe.